Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect. Today's beverage is a very nice cranberry and lime juice, very refreshing indeed. So welcome back to the latest version of the game, circa 2018, the last introversion build of the game, and in the previous episode we planned this facility here. It's a small map, no fog of war, and I think it's like 80 by 80, and we decided that we're going to go with probably medium to high risk prisoners and onwards, and because of that we've went with a limited amount of prisoners. Only got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 times 4, so it's not a huge prison, but it's actually pretty good for the space that we've got. At the top here we've got lots of admin stuff, and there's things to change and alter as we progress on, but we'll see how we get on during the building. So speaking of that, let's go over to our grants, and I'm going to go for the administration centre and probably leave it there for that. I don't think I need much more, but I'm going to go to building brick. We got building brick and concrete. I think we're going to go with brick because quite frankly it is the most classic, I think. So we're going to build this is the administration centre, but obviously I'm putting this building down here because this is going to be our power room, so we have to have that, and then the offices and staff room are going to go here. So what I'll do is I'll build up to say there, and then I'll build on next to it and then up to there, and then that's all this thing done in one go. Over to our objects. It's not a different tab this time, so I'm sure that'll trip me up many a time during this build here, because with the latest versions of the game you've got it in a different tab. So yeah, we'll just see how we get on. A couple of comments regarding the game. People seem to be quite happy as going back to this version of the game, so happy that's been well received. We do need a door on this thing, don't we? So we're probably going to go with a staff door there, and that should do it. Yeah, so people happy that we've come back to this one, and many people also discovering that there has been lots of updates since this build, so things like missing, and already there's a bit of confusion with what's in the game and what is not, and I'm sure that's going to be mirrored a lot by myself as we continue building on in these subsequent episodes. But also there's been a lot of feedback regarding this outer wall and how we should probably shrink this down, make it maybe a 1x1 just to give us some more space. I think it's a valid point, a very valid point in fact. Whether or not we act on that, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure having a single one walkway all the way around is desirable, but we'll get to that when we come to build that. Also in here we have a security room, we have showers, and then this teeny tiny tinsy little common room, which is only, was that 3x4? Yeah, it's pretty useless. However, we may go ahead and get rid of that and do something else. Or maybe someone suggested cleaning cupboards in here, which is not a terrible idea, but it does mean a lot of contraband can be stolen from there. Anyway, over to materials and then to our brick wall, and I'm going to place the brick wall in like so. This is going to be, like I say, different rooms for things like offices. In terms of cash, we are on 19,000 generic units of currency, but we want to get the basic detention centre and the short and long-term investments and things like that. So over to our, God, it's really pared down, isn't it? To this room here, and this is going to be, I'm actually going to build 2 of them. I'll probably, yeah, actually I think I'll make 2 of them. We'll go to our staff and then a warden and place them there, and then inevitably they'll go to probably the different office. But anyway, the desk will go in like so. Both will be placed in there. We'll have a filing cabinet on the back right there, followed by a chair in the centre as well, and that's job done. We obviously need doors as well, so we'll go over to objects and then staff door. Staff door is going to go there, 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 and then basically all the way along here. So that's going to go to the end there, and that's staff door. So we need to build an office, hire a warden. Yep, the warden's gone to the wrong office. I say the wrong office. There's not really any right office. I prefer them to be on that side there. Unlock finance through bureaucracy, which we will do. So I'll select finance. It's going to take 6 hours to get that done, and then we need to hire an accountant. So we need to run some power, so over to utilities and power station. We're going to place a power station in the back here, followed by a water pump which will go there. That should be acceptable, and then we're going to run the power in as well. Down to 12 grand. I think it's time to pick up, I don't think I want to pick up, the basic detention centre. You've got health and well-being, which is quite an easy one to build because it's this. And then staff wellbeing initiative, which is build a staff room, have at least 5 guards without assigned duties. Yeah, the problem with getting those staff members is that obviously you're going to then pay for them. What I mean by that is that we'll have to account for the time that they are potentially in the facility. Let me just run power along like so. Yeah, we'll actually run up to there, because inevitably we will have metal detectors on the right-hand side. Lots of lighting that's missing in here, so we could place lighting in like so. And that'll power that up, and then similar thing on this side. You notice we're not actually buying any lights. These lights are not free, but they certainly are included in the original order that we placed. So let's hire an accountant. We now have that done, and grant completion bonus of 5 grand. We're going to go for a extra grant and a bank loan, and we should also now get in grants a short and a long-term investment, which is putting money into the system. Which is curious, because now that's reduced our money to 4 grand, but we're still actually going to make a profit, which is pretty nice. The problem that we have, obviously, is that we now really have very, very little money. Yeah, that's an issue until we get the extra grant and then the bank loan. So main door here, these will be metal detectors. I do think there's a security problem. There is certainly a security problem. However, let's see about placing a brick wall. How much would it cost? Wow. So 2 grand to place that brick wall there. If it was perhaps a fence, it would be a tenth of the cost. Well, we're going to have to place brick wall around anyway. We'll see how we get on. There's the water pump, which is currently not connected to the connected to this. So I'm going to place that in there. Then an electrical cable that'll power that thing up. Over to planning and to walls. I'm going to remove that planning there. We don't need that. And that should be a extra grant. Yes, we now got basic detention centre, inmate health and well-being, reform through education initiative. Almost got there. And staff well-being. The inmate health and well-being, I'm going to pick up. It's a 10 grand advanced payment, but it's also exceedingly easy for me to accomplish. So, staff door at the back. Staff door. No, standard door there. It's always a point of contention with the medical centre, because prisoners can nick stuff from there. It is a contraband generating place. However, if you put a staff door in, they can still require access, so it just takes more time for the staff to unlock the door. So you might as well just have it as a standard door and then just search for the contraband. That's my thoughts on the matter. But also not all the time, so... Depends on what day you catch me. Anyway, we need a... Oh, we need a psychologist as well. Health and psychology will unlock. So we'll research that. And then in here, this is going to be... hang on a second. Infirmary. Oh yeah, it's just not unlocked yet. Okay. Utilities, electrical cable. This is going to run across like so. In here. It's probably just going to be a ring around, but I've made sure that we've not placed it inside this building here, because when we do eventually need more power, we place another power generator here, and the associated capacitors. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It won't fit. I'd have to place it down here. That's not a problem. Yeah, what I'll do is... that means this should have been over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that wouldn't fit either. Wow, it's just the wrong size in every dimension. Typical. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, I've not placed them inside, because if we do get extra power requirement, I can easily just quickly turn the kitchen and canteen, which has a lot of power drain, onto a new line that'll go along there. At least that is my intention. Right, we now have infirmary, which I will now place in here. Like so. Morgue as well. For the infirmary, we need a medical bed. And morgue slabs. I don't really need them all, but we're going to place them there anyway. And then 2 doctors. And a psychologist eventually, which will require another office. So, office desks. I'm just going to build the rest of the offices, quite frankly, because they're so cheap to build. They're all just clones. To answer the inevitable comment that we'll get, why haven't we put any flooring in? Because flooring's expensive, and we won't be getting it yet because, quite frankly, it's just a needless expense. We have flooring. It's not very pretty, I'll give you that, but we do have flooring. It's not as if we're walking on a dirt road or anything. Okay. 1 psychologist. And there's that grant. So we now got 13 grand. Basic Detention Centre, the Reform Through Education Initiative, and the Staff Wellbeing Initiative. Basic Detention Centre we're going to pick up. That's a 20 grand advance payment. I'm also going to check the staffing. So a doctor is a grand to pick up, to buy, to recruit, to hire. Substitute whatever term you prefer. But the wages are 100 generic units of currency per day. Means we fire them now, and we buy them back within 10 days, it's, yeah, it's much more inefficient. Are we going to get prisoners within 10 days? Probably. Guards, however, are 5 days, so... So, we need to build the rest of the facility. Let's crack on with that. Brick wall, it's going to go along there, along here, and along here. And on the right hand side I'm not going to bother because this is a kitchen and canteen which I do need to build sooner rather than later. While cracking on with that, I am going to put in, well, what I'll do is I'll unpause it first to let them, you know, actually build the thing. I haven't hired any more workers. I don't think we really need any, quite frankly. Doors are going to go in like so. Think there's some potential routing issues, but we'll get onto that at some point. Over to rooms and then the reception. Reception's gone in there. We're going to get in the office desk. Go in like so. Followed by chairs. And then you need sort of tables either side. And I'm going to put some like... Actually, I don't know about chairs there. A couple of bins. And then chairs there. Yep, that'll do us quite nicely. So the placing a wall around the outside, that's then going to give us some security here. Because at the moment, minimum size 5x5 for the yards and then secure behind at least 1 door. Well, it ain't. There are no walls. But they've built the walls along there and down. Oh, they've actually built all the walls. Good for them. Let's build here then. That's a fair chunk of change, that. Lots of money. But we're spending it where we need to spend it. We're still not going to have nowhere near enough money to finish this thing. Not in this episode, at least. But the short-term investment will come good in less than 2 days' time. So that's alright. Yeah. Excuse me. So as regards to the rooms, we've discussed this area, which is security. So security, armory, security, dogs, armory. And then you've got all these rooms on the left-hand side. And then these 2 rooms here. People have suggested putting workshops in. I'm not convinced. I think we build this as is. And then when we expand down the south, assuming that we are going to, that's where we put in forestry and workshop. Because it'll require more power. I think that works out. So these are most likely going to be common rooms of some kind. But we also need solitary, which we don't have. And we don't have parole and things. Parole is most likely going to be going around here somewhere. Same as visitation. And then these at the bottom can become, let's say, whatever buildings don't require access for the visitors and such. There's no visitor doors as well, I should point out. Okay, over to bureaucracy. I'm going to unlock security and maintenance. I'm also going to pick up a loan. just because that's going to start to increase our credit rating, which increases the amount of money we can have overall in terms of our loan. So we can see here, we've not got power in all of this. So if I just run a little cable in there, that should be sufficient. So this is going to be our kitchen and canteen. So we'll designate that as such. Kitchen first. Canteen. And there we go. That scribbles all that on. And then we need doors here. So the doors are going to be large jail door and a staff door. Reason for that is we can have the staff door there. If it ever kicks off in the canteen and they try to come through to the kitchen, there's a staff door there that they have to bat through, which gives us enough time, assuming I'm paying attention, so probably not, to then close that jail door. That's the logic behind it. Is it actually going to work that way? Well, I have no idea. What I do know is we now have power in the canteen. Also a very clean canteen, but it's, to be fair, it's just being built, so of course it's going to be a nice clean canteen. So I'm just going to build the basics in here. So I'm also going to get planning. So objects. Am I going to build them like that? Was that the plan? Well, it's certainly a plan. Is it the plan? Which I believe is a Battlestar Galactica reimagined series spin-off thing, mini-series film. Well, that fits in. So like a cat, if it fits, it sits. And we have a canteen. As for in here, that's a different story. Objects. Could have cookers along there. Sinks is going to go along there. That's 3 sinks. So I'm going to remove some of those cookers. On this side, we can have a row of freezers and fridges. Double... do we need double cookers there? I don't know. What's the internals of this? 10. So if we assume we're going to have cookers on either side. Well, I'm going to have to stagger them like that, aren't I? Cookers there. And cookers there. Followed by freezers. Then cookers back to back. Followed by freezers. I don't think we need all of that. I really don't. But it's potentially what we're going with. It's certainly what I'm going to place in to begin with. One of each. Yeah. And that'll be technically working. Large pipe then. It's going to come out and run right up here. Small pipe will then cross to power those. Electrical cable will require a connection, which it now has. So the canteen is officially legitimate. And the kitchen is also the same. Right. How are we for money? Credit rating's gone up. Maximum bank loan is 10 grand. Basic detention centre, we are progressing through. We have a yard, which means it's officially behind a door. We have a kitchen and a canteen. We need to hire 2 guards and 2 cooks. That is very easily done. After that, we need a shower and a holding cell. We're not going to have a holding cell, but what I'll do is just put this as a holding cell and just artificially make it so we can get the grant done. Because I don't think we're going to have a holding cell in this facility. But the shower's a different story. Again, I could cheese it by putting a shower in here. That's very easily done. But I think building this is the way forward. It's going to cost 10 grand to put the building in, plus the cells and the showers. But once we've got the short-term investment out of the way, that's the money there. And the next grant after that is cell block A, which is 15 cells. So, yeah, I think that's what we'll most likely do. So we're going to leave it there for now. That's been a bit of Prison Architect Anniversary 2018 edition, last official update from Introversion here, and progress is good. We have a wall around the outside. It's not a perimeter wall, but it is essentially a wall. We have staffing. We have the reception, storage, kitchen, canteen. For what it is, obviously, we know we need to change that up a bit. But yeah, overall, pretty happy with the progress. And we also have some grants on the go, some nice bureaucracy researched. We could go for cleaning, groundskeeping. I think we're probably going to have to do that, but that's a future us problem. But overall, pretty happy with the progress, and then in 10 hours we've got enough money to do this cell block here, which is what we'll be doing in the next episode. Either way, I hope you have enjoyed this. Comments in the comments. Take care, and generic partings.